Hey Married at First Sight fans, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a review for episode 3 of Married at First Sight, season 15. And I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into it. Now I'm still trying to recall the names of the couples because I'm still new to them. So I'm going to have my phone here to show me who they are. I'm not taking any notes this season. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Go with the flow format is my approach this season. Okay, so who got married this episode? It was Kristen and Mitch and Lindy and Miguel, right? Or was it? Wow, I'm already forgetting. Well, all of the other couples got married. Yes, all of them. Lindy, Miguel, Kristen, Mitch, Stasia and Nate. The only one who is not married yet is Morgan and Ben because Ben got the C, right? He got the C. Okay, so let's just go ahead in order and I'll start with Lindy and Miguel. We'll go ahead and start talking about them. So again, I think Lindy and Miguel are a really cute couple. At the wedding, she was so elated. She was so happy to be married. And she kept saying that her husband was handsome. So I'm really happy for her because she just seemed elated. She said that that was like her best day or her favorite day is her wedding day. And I'm like, that's what you deserve, is you deserve for your wedding day to be your favorite day or the best day of your life. And that's what it felt like to her. Miguel was pretty much quiet the whole time. After a while, you start to realize that's just his personality. He's just a very low-key guy. And I think in that case, that might have played to a disadvantage in his previous relationships. And I mentioned that in my previous review. Because if you're a little too passive, sometimes your partners will kind of step all over you, unfortunately. So it's like you want to be assertive. You want to be assertive in a way that's healthy. So if you're having to tell your partner repeatedly, hey, don't disrespect me or don't do this, it's probably because energetically you don't own it yet. Let's just say you don't own it. You might want it and desire it, but you don't own it firmly in yourself yet. So it's just something to think about. What was the conversation that Lindy was having with Miguel's sister? I thought was really interesting. She was talking about how they had gone through a tumultuous childhood, and in spite of that, Miguel had turned out to be a really well-adjusted guy. And I thought that was a huge compliment. I think Miguel, he does come off as a really great guy. Like, his friends like him. He seems trustworthy. It's just sometimes when it comes to a romantic partnership, the way someone is romantically versus the way they are a brother or the way they are a friend, it plays out differently. So we have to be understanding there's different skills that are needed in each areas of our life. Yes, we need the same human skills, but we also need in general, with your romantic partner, that's like your life partner, right? They're there with you all the time through thick and thin. And most of the time they're very much karmic partners. So you're attracting your karmic opposite, someone who you either feel worthy of or any kind of lack of worthiness will also reflect in the type of partner that you end up attracting to you because you guys are mirrors of each other. So Miguel, yeah, I thought he was really respectful, very tame personality. Lindy said that even though it was her best day ever, she wasn't, and it was unicorns and rainbows, she wasn't giving that the full weight. She was very much considerate of how, hey, we're still going to have conflicts in the future. And I think it's great, stay open to what can happen on the practical. Understand that, yes, people are going to fight just period all the time. That's what happens in partnerships. That's always the challenging aspect of relationships. And you just need to learn how to work through those conflicts. But, my positive thing that I got out of this was that she was enjoying herself. I think Miguel is most definitely introverted, introspective, and in his head a lot. And I just hope that he will be assertive where he needs to be assertive in his partnership. But I think they are a good match in terms of temperament. They both seem to have a very sweet, tame temperament to them. I'm just wondering about this other side of Lindy that's going to come out later. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I mean, it's just the wedding day, right? So we're not really seeing that much of each of the couples. I'm happy for them. Let me move on to the next couple. So let's talk about Kristen and Mitch. So I really feel bad for Kristen. Immediately, so Mitch turned into a groomzilla, and then as soon as he saw Kristen, he wasn't exactly attracted. Hold on, I think my battery's about to run out. Let me pause this. Okay, I forgot to press record on my video. Okay, so I put a new battery into my camera. So Kristen and Mitch, they finally meet at the altar. And Kristen's really positive. She's just like, oh, hey, how are you? And I like a bald guy and you're really attractive. You know, she's just being so supportive, like Kristen, I think, is used to being. She's used to being the very supportive partner, very enthusiastic. Mitch, however, I think as soon as he heard the bad and bougie, I think he was turned off because that's just not his thing. He's more about the lifestyle. And yeah, I think, so like my first immediate reaction was I was really disappointed seeing his reaction, hearing how focused he was on lifestyle, how the experts missed that. I just feel bad for her because she already went through a partnership. She experienced a partnership where she was giving her all and everything. And still, the outcome was very disappointing. So I just feel really bad for her. But here's my thing to add on to that is lessons will come. They will come and they will keep coming until we learn the lessons. And I think Kristen's lesson that she's needing to understand is she invested all of this time, energy, and money into someone who wasn't investing the same back into her. She was overcompensating for his lack. She paid for her ring. She paid for the wedding. She paid for the honeymoon, I think, too. And yet this person had the audacity to cheat on her. Yes, he had the audacity to cheat on her because he was so used to her doing everything. Right? So my hope for Kristen is be firm in your worthiness. It's not even about, like, she's very bold, she's outgoing, but learn how to be more firm in your worthiness and your deservingness. And as far as I'm concerned, every single one of us, human beings, we're priceless. We're priceless. So truly, you want someone of like true and deep sincerity to be worth your time and your energy. Because no one can afford you, period. So you might as well understand, like, character is at the core the most important thing. Right? Or seeing how someone treats you, seeing how they behave and take care of you. And so my thing is, Kristen, are you paying attention to the signs? Are you paying attention to this person? Because even while they were up there, she wasn't really picking up on the signals. She was focusing on the positive. And I think that's what Kristen does. She focuses on the positive all the time. She's enthusiastic. She's bold. She does what she wants to do. She's assertive. But are you paying attention to the reality of how this person is reacting? Because he is very uncomfortable, is not feeling this at all. If you pick up on those little, clues, then you can relieve yourself of heartache. You can avoid the heartache at the end of it. I think I mostly just feel disappointed with the experts putting the two of them together because I think Mitch is a nice guy. I think he lacks maturity in relationships, but I also think he does need someone who is fit for his lifestyle because he's extreme. So to me, putting this couple together, hearing how he is more focused on the lifestyle, they're not compatible. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. Kristen is such a cool person, a great person. I think they have the potential for friendship, but I don't really think they have the potential for anything else. Especially I think it's always a red flag when a guy doesn't feel the attraction right away because they're more primal, right? So they're more attuned to their attraction and their biological compatibility with their partner. So if they don't feel that attraction, I feel like it's kind of like duns, What else is there to add? I don't think there's too much to add. I think that's mainly the core of what is at play between the two of them. Like my other thing was that I think Mitch, he offered his jacket to Kristen and she said, oh, no, thank you. And then later she was freezing. She was cold. Like everybody was cold because it was, I think, like winter when they were shooting that. Maybe fall. No, not winter. Yeah, winter. It was winter when they were shooting that. Or maybe the end of spring. So my thing is, when a man offers to do something for you, just say yes, especially if he's your romantic partner, especially if you're getting to know each other. When you're starting to get to know each other, that's how they bond with you, is when they can do things for you. And that's how they show their protective and provider capabilities. That's how they feel closer and they bond to you. So if you just allow him to do things for you, you'll be good. But I thought it was very interesting that she said no, because I think that's what she's used to doing, right? I got it. I'm an independent woman. I can take care of myself. I want to be loved, but I can take care of myself. And your partner's over here like, hey, can I give you my coat? Can I do something for you? Oh no, I'm good. But then where is their role in your life? You know, especially as a man, like they need that. They need to feel like they can do something for you in your life, be a part of your life, right? Yeah, I think she's a really great person. It's just I hope she can look out for those my voice cracked. I hope she can pay attention to those clues in the near future. And I hope Mitch also opens his mind a little bit, because I'm like, hey, come on, Mitch, you're a unicorn. Like, not everybody is like that strict and intense about climate change and saving the planet. And, you know, most people are not like that. So I think you need to go to like a specific group of people to find that type of person for you, and also mature quite a bit, because I think you can find a great person. It's just a matter of maturing in partnerships, because he does feel sort of something about him that feels boyish to me. Like the way he it's I think the groomzilla, it's like the way he complains, you know, versus not complaining. All right, so next couple we have is Alexis and Justin. Actually, let's talk about Alexis and Justin. So Alexis and Justin, no question, are very much attracted to each other. Chemistry is explosive. I'm really liking the vibe between the two of them. I think, yeah, it is kind of moving fast, but it's also when you're having a wedding and this is your marriage partner, it accelerates everything. It accelerates the feelings. You probably feel a lot more secure to show your vulnerability, to show your emotions, because you're like, well, this person is tied to me. Now they're bonded, like we're contracted to stay together. So why wouldn't I show them my attraction to them? What I really like about Alexis is that she was attentive to Justin. She was attentive to him. And he said that he noticed that. And it made him want to be even more attentive to her. And he was attentive. He gave her his jacket. You see, Kristen? He gave her his jacket. He's taking care of her. He's making sure she's comfortable. She's making sure he's comfortable. Like, that's what marriage is about. Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Are you okay? Like, we check up on each other. And this is something that I think some of the, I think Nate could pick up on that too a little bit more. Like, look out, are you making sure she's comfortable and taken care of? I don't know. Sometimes they don't show all the scenes, but I'll go back to Nate later. That really shows someone's maturity. It's like, hey, are you okay? Are you comfortable? That's protector provider. He's ready. He's ready. He's ready for his mate. He's ready to be with you and take care of you. That's what you're there to do, is take care of each other until you're old and in diapers, right? So what else? I like the bond. I liked the wedding dance. Justin's moves. I loved when Alexis was telling him to find the beat. My echo is reacting. I loved it when she was telling him to find a beat, and he was he was just so confident, you know, being there for her. I like how affectionate they are. It's quite a bit, but they're just feeling it, and I'm like, well, you might as well just ride the wave, right? You might as well just go with it. Go with the flow of it. Enjoy each other. It is your wedding day, right? Why not make it extra special? I don't think there were any like red flags. I love like when Alexis said, you know, at first I wasn't sure if this man could be my husband, but then as I got to know him, I started to feel closer to him. And I love it. I mean, it's quite fast, but it's still the vulnerability is there. Both of them are so vulnerable. They're so open with their emotions. This to me, it was like a Woody and Monty thing. Vulnerability to me is like a very important, because I'm like, for the show, you need that. You just need to be ready to open your heart, because it's moving at an accelerated pace. Be honest with it. Like, how are you feeling? Like, if you're not feeling it, let me know too. If you're not feeling it, maybe, you know, we need to take our time. When Alexis was having a conversation with his family members, by the way, I have to totally jump back because I'm totally forgetting some details. But when with Lindy and Miguel, when Alexis was having a conversation with his friends, they're like, he's sensitive. And we all picked that up. You know, he's sensitive. He is willing to show his tears. And that's just something she has to think about and consider. Hey, is this something in a partner that I can handle and take care of? She's very attuned to her feelings. She's very open about her feelings and communicating her feelings. And she's very witty as well. So I think she can handle him. We'll just see how things play out in the end. Going back to Lindy and Miguel, Lindy's brother asked him if he believes in a higher power. So religion does play a huge factor in relationships. You have to know right away, like, just communicate it. Like, are you not? Because to me, it's a yes or no answer. You believe in the higher power or you don't. Or you believe, are you agnostic? Are you questioning? Are you on the fence? Like, to me, you shouldn't be afraid to communicate that to anyone, friends, family, anyone, because I feel like your belief system is a huge part of who you are. And so if you're very closed off and very protective of it, it's not going to allow for you to live your life out in the open, period. So to me, embracing your belief system and sharing it, being open to other people about your belief system, it's not about coming to people and telling them what your belief system is. But if someone comes to you and they ask you, hey, what is your belief system? There should be no fear about communicating that. I feel like you should always be direct about that because people will respect you for your sincerity and your honesty. First and foremost, your character above all, before categorizing you because of your belief system. They'll look at you as human and how you respected them by answering them straight. So I think with Miguel playing, trying to play around or play whatever, skirt around the question, that again, that's the passive quality that's coming through from him. I'm like, you just got to be more direct. You got to be direct about your belief system because that has to be to her family, to anyone. It doesn't matter. Being afraid to hurt someone's feelings, that doesn't constitute enough of a reason to not be honest about who you are. So I think he said that he didn't really believe in a higher power, but then he was kind of skirting around it, right? It's like, well, I don't really da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, we could have nipped that in the bud. First sentence. No. Yes. So that just shows me the way he approaches like really uncomfortable situations. I always feel like it's just best to be very direct, but in a very compassionate way. I think he was trying, but he was still skirting around the question. So I'm like, just tell them, tell her, you have nothing to hide. And to me, it's about the nothing to hide part. Be an open book for people. This is her brother. This is her mother. They want to know that they can trust you with her because even though she's not with the church anymore, she still is taking with her that belief system. And it plays a huge part in how she lives her life. Okay, so moving back to Alexis and Justin, I think there was really nothing else to share. They're very attracted to each other, very much feeling the passion, feeling the physical attraction. I'm curious to see how the two of them are going to continue to play out. Moving on to Stasia and Nate. So we're not going to really talk about, well, I'll talk about Morgan and Ben last, I guess. Okay, Stasia and Nate. Stasia was like crying. She was in tears. She was so happy. She kept saying, oh, I didn't know I could be this happy. I didn't know I could be this happy. I thought that was so sweet. He's basically what she desired. When they were talking about the ages, it was a little awkward because she was talking about how she was open to dating someone younger, and he was talking about how she wasn't even in his age bracket. But then Pastor Cal convinced him to move it. The thing about Stasia is she looks great. She looks great. She takes very good care of herself. Like her age, age is kind of, people age actually at a different rate. We don't age at the same rate because of genetics. I know it seems like, okay, maybe you've been on the planet for 50 years, but you might actually be a 47 internally because you've been taking care of yourself. Your vitality is really great. So age at some point really is just a number. Yeah, but with the Stasia and Nate, yeah, I thought that was kind of an awkward conversation. And in general, the way that he talked to her, I wasn't really crazy about because Nate, to me, he doesn't really feel ready for a partnership because he's not really attentive to her. He was very quiet, maybe quite nervous the entire time about the wedding and everything. But I'm just like, this is your wife. Talk to her. Get out of your comfort zone. Maybe he's the type of person who starts off as closed off and then he opens up further along. But I just felt like, this is your wife, this is your wedding, make an impression, ask questions, be direct. She's leading you and she's not even trying that hard. I'm like, I feel like he just needs to try more. But he just might be a slow burn type of person where he builds up to letting you into his world. Yeah, so the other thing to add on is they had that awkward conversation with his female friend. So earlier, Stasia was having a conversation with his friends, and they're like, oh, how do you feel about female friends? And she's like, that's fine. Her answer was perfect. There needs to be boundaries. As long as the boundaries are respected, it's fine. But then up comes his female friend alone, and she's been his friend for a year, and she's talking about how, hey, well, I'm here for you. I'll support you. I would be looking at him like, who is this woman? If she's not your family, you need to tell me why this woman is telling me she wants to be such a huge part of our lives. I don't even know her. So it was a very awkward situation. And Nate was sitting behind Stasia, just quiet and awkward. He didn't even introduce them. He didn't, exchange names. So again, that's like the maturity thing. Like, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this partnership and this connection? Do you know what healthy boundaries are in a connection? Because that conversation was just so awkward. And Stasia was killing me because she was just coming back with, it was like watching a movie. She was just like, oh, maybe we need to have less game nights. Yeah, maybe her expressions were killing me. So that scene was great for TV, but as far as like Nate goes, I think he just put her in a very awkward position. You need to state very clearly, who is this woman to you? And what is your expectation for her in our connection? And you need to talk to me about, these conversations, this connection that we're going to be having with your friends. So yeah, I don't think Nate does know proper boundaries because the way that his friend came up and communicated that just didn't make any sense. I don't know. Maybe to some degree he's closer to his friends than he is to his family. And that's because he expressed that he had experienced a very difficult time in life. To me, usually when people experience that kind of difficulty where they're struggling financially, they go to family to help them. And I almost feel that that wasn't available to him for his family to help him. He had to help himself. So I'm like, maybe he doesn't have that bond with his family members that most people do. So he bonds with his friends even closer. Okay, so that's, I think, the only thing about Stasia and Nate. Yeah, I hope Nate's mature enough to handle her. And I think Stasia is just very assertive, very direct. I like that. But I think she has a lot of room for give, to let people be flawed, to be open to things. Yeah. I also think to some degree, being with someone who is less assertive, it works to her advantage to some degree, but it doesn't work to her advantage when it comes to polarity, when it comes to attraction. Because ultimately, I think men, I was talking about in the previous, like they want to feel like they're the more assertive one in the partnership. So it's like when they don't have that, when they don't feel like the energetic provider in the relationship, then it might make them feel some kind of way. Just saying. Yeah. Moving on to Morgan and Ben. So Morgan and Ben didn't get married because he was sick. It was canceled. And Morgan was complaining. She was talking about how, why did these things happen to me? And I'm like, but are you worried about him? Are you worried about his health? Are you hoping he's okay? I know she doesn't know him, but at the same time, I'm just like, someone's sick here. And it's a good thing your wedding was canceled because now we can prevent that illness from spreading. So that was just my thing. She was focused on herself. And I wonder how that's going to play out in their partnership, is her seemingly kind of focused on herself quite a bit. I think that's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer, and be back for my next review next week. The last thing I have to say is Justin's brother did raise him. That's why they had that issue. And I love their bond. It's so beautiful. And that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Like, subscribe, support the channel.